Welcome to another video, this time the passive voice. Welcome to the passive voice. In this grammar presentation, we will have a look at the passive or the passive voice. We will have a look at the form, how to make the passive forms in different tenses. And we'll have a look at the meaning and the usage. Why do we use the passive? So I would say enjoy, sit back and relax and have a look at the presentation. You feel already comfortable with the passive, have a look at the practice exercises on the website, which are in the comments below. As you can see, there is some present simple, passive, simple past, present continuous, present perfect, past continuous, past perfect, and more. Have a look at it, try some exercises, and if you still have issues, have a look again at the presentation or have a look again at the video or the information here. So I would say enjoy. So active versus passive. You already know lots of tenses and you're used to using the active form. So active, he builds houses. You have your subject, you have your verb and your object. So he builds houses. Here the subject is doing the action. He is doing the building. And that's it. So the passive, what happens is that your object becomes, so houses becomes the subject. Houses are built by him. Here, the subject is not doing the action. Houses don't build. They can't do anything. So because the houses are not doing the action, you need to use a passive form here. Because he is doing the action, but he is the object here. And here you have a subject as houses. So that's why you need to use the passive form. Let's have a closer look at the different, at the form itself. So houses are built by him. You have subject plus verb to be in different forms. Present simple, simple past, different kind of tenses, all of the tenses. And then the past participle and your object here. So let's have a look at the individual tenses. Present simple. You have they make TVs in China. This is the active form. TVs are made in China. You just take the verb to be, put it in the positive. Here it's are, present simple positive is are, and then made is your past participle. Present continuous, so they are checking his work. This is a present continuous. Present continuous of verb to be is plus ing is being. And then you have your participle is being checked. Present perfect, someone has broken into my house. Present perfect of the verb to be is has been. So has been plus broken, has been broken into. Then the simple past, someone stole my wallet. My wallet was stolen. You take the verb to be in the simple past, and here it's was plus past participle. Same thing for will. Someone will help you, will plus infinitive. The infinitive of the verb to be is be. You will be helped. Same thing with other modals. He can't do it now. Can't plus infinitive. So can't, it can't be done now in that sense. Same thing with ing forms. I don't like people shouting at me. Don't like plus ing. So I don't like being shouted at. Same thing with infinitive. You need to give feedback. Okay, need to plus infinitive, needs to plus the verb to be given. So feedback needs to be given. You can add by. So for example, by can be added if we do or want to stress who is doing the action. So for example, feedback needs to be given by your manager, not your boss or not your colleagues, but it's your manager who's giving the feedback. And that's why we use the by. So when do we use it? First of all, when we don't know who did it, that's one of the first reasons why we use the passive. My car was stolen. We don't know who stole my car, so we are using the passive here. When it's obvious as well is another reason why we're using the passive voice. For example, he has been arrested on suspicion of burglary. Who was doing the arresting? The police. That's very obvious. There's nobody else who can arrest anyone, so it's the police who did the arresting here. Another reason is for when it's not important who does it. So, for example, many products are made in China. Who cares? probably some people in some factory somewhere. It's not important who made the products. It's more important that those products are made in China, not who. So that's not important. It's also used a lot in broadcasts, so on TV, news TV, or in articles as well, especially news articles. No survivors have been found. Again, we're using the passive here. There are other examples. Have a look at newspaper articles or listen to the news, and you will find lots of passive voices being used there. And also, it's extremely important in academic writing. So people who are studying for the IELTS exam, or people who want to do a master's or bachelor's, you need to be able to use the passive voice. Because in academic writing, most of the time, the action is more important than who is doing the action. So the theory was first proposed in the 19th century. We're using here a passive, simple past passive. It's also used in business to avoid responsibility. So for example, errors were made and will be dealt with. I'm trying to avoid responsibility by not saying I did those errors or I made those errors. No, errors were made. We're not going to talk about who did them and what and why and how, but they were made. We will admit that. And they will be dealt with, again, by someone. Again, we will see who will do those things. So we're trying to avoid responsibility here. It's also used a lot with reporting verbs. Again, this is important for academic writing. So it is said, it is believed, it has been reported, it is thought, it is understood, it is rumored, it's widely known, and so on and so forth. So for example, it is said that the data may have been manipulated. It is believed that the origins of this tradition dates back to ancient times. If you want to have a look at the other sentences, have a look at the slides. I'll upload them as well later, or press pause and you can have a look at the other sentences as well. So what is now challenging for the students? The challenging part is not necessarily to make the passive voice. It's rather logical and you need a bit of practice. Most of the time, the challenging part is selecting the correct tense, because we're starting to mix tenses again. So present simple, past continuous, present perfect all together in exercises. And then it's not really necessarily the passive voice making, but the selecting. Do I in this sentence use present perfect, or do I use simple past or present continuous? And that starts to become more difficult for the students because all the tenses are mixed. And it's sometimes still confusing. And sometimes students also have difficulty with selecting passive or active. Do I do the passive here, or this is active? And they don't really know if they should use passive or active, or which one it is, and they start mixing them up sometimes. So if you have any questions, this was the passive voice, let me know. Type them in the comments below or write in a comment and I will help you as soon as I can. For more practice as well, as always, go to the website. There's more practice there. Present simple, passive, simple past, different exercises, mixed practice, different kind of practice exercises. Go have a look. It will help you better understand the passive voice. It will help you practice. If you still have any questions after the practice, let me know or write some comments on the website as well. As always, if you need more grammar presentations apart from the passive, you can have a look at my website or my social media. The different links are there as well. And the same thing, subscribe or give me a thumbs up if you like the video. That way I can post new videos and some more videos in the future. So I would say go to the website, do some practice. If you have any questions, write me some comments and I will help you. So good luck practicing the passive voice and enjoy.